yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Isn't it time to stop reliving your past hurts and move on to a bright and hopeful future?
I have a right to be upset, but I don't have a right to be wounded for the rest of my life. So I choose to be healed.
Get rid of the bitter poison that unforgiveness administers to the soul with Bishop David G. Evans. Forgive again, live again.
It's a liberating experience, and being able to forgive someone and forgiving yourself. It's liberating.
Forgiveness will deliver me in 3 dimensions. From what happened, from who it happened with, from when it happened. Because sometimes you'll get free from the what, but the who will still have you bound.
This highly sought-after 4-part message of healing can be yours on CD or DVD. Act now, and we'll include Bishop's book, Healed Without Scars, with your order absolutely free. All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So, Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
It's the catalyst for change you've been waiting on. New Mind, New Me, from Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money. You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your command.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device worldwide. You can join us for conversations regarding faith, politics, sports, culture, events, significant seasons in your life, but always from a biblical perspective. We're so glad you've joined us once again this morning. You can give us a call at 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. Now, why don't you like us and subscribe? share with it, tag at least 5 people, invite them to join our conversation this morning. You will not be sorry, as we don't shy away from anything that's happening in the world. Talk about those things which are relevant to your life, impacting your life, whether you know it or not, but always from a kingdom perspective, always from a biblical perspective. Of course, joining me once again this morning is Reverend Nicholas Smith, our co-host. How you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
All right, it's been a crazy week this week, man.
You tell it.
Crazy week.
All in a few days.
Yeah, man. It's been quite a. It's not a revelation to me as much as it's confirmation of things that I believe have been giving indicators for the last 4 or 5 years as to where some of the people, where their agendas lie. Yeah, so I'm sure our callers want to talk about this whole Roe versus Wade overturn, but also I think they'll probably want to talk about the subsequent assertions by Judge Thomas of what they should also start reviewing. I'm thinking that if they're going to indicate how a woman how they should control her body, that the whole contraception thing, the whole, who you marry thing, all I think that's minor compared to what they've just done. And I saw some people yesterday, and they kind of think, well, they did this, but they won't do this. But I have close friends who told me that our former president was just talking campaign talk when he was on the trail, and he wasn't going to do any of that stuff. And then when I called them back later, they were kind of disgusted with the fact that the campaign talk was policy.
Yep. This is where you can truly use the term slippery slope.
Okay.
Because this was truly this is what they wanted.
Yeah.
Those of you who sat out in 2016 because you didn't like either one or you didn't like her.
Yep.
Now you got to deal with now you're complaining about the consequences.
Here's the dominoes.
You said you use slippery slope. Here's a domino effect. You touched one.
Yep.
And you expected them not to be, or you said she was worse than him or just as bad as him. But if she was president, we wouldn't have had all this
stuff. Not what's coming out now.
No, not at all.
Mrs. Clinton is a politician, and we know Washington has a way they do things. Yep. But if anybody would suggest to me that we would have had as much confusion and dissension and division and all the things that we saw come out of the previous administration, they're just not dealing with reality.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
And these hearings, which is another thing I'm sure that people are going to want to talk about today, are revealing some things. No wonder people were asking for pardons. They knew they had done criminal things.
That's right. I forgot to put that on there. Yeah.
And it's just to try to get to create a list of phony electors and to try to get it to the vice president.
Yep.
You need a pardon.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then deny it, and then they got you on text message. Ron Johnson, right?
Yeah, man.
And it's blatantly right there.
I'm wondering who's driving the bus, man. These guys are like, they're not even good in their denials. And one guy says, I'm on my phone. Well, he said, I'm looking at your phone. It's not on.
Right. Right.
It's I don't know.
But there are people who are still saying, I'm not talking about politicians trying to hustle people. I'm talking about regular, everyday citizens are still saying the election was hustled. And when you bring up, when they get to the courts, all the lawyers say there was no proof, but yet they still want to believe. They're so entrenched in this Trump thing that they can't believe physical proof in the court.
Well, here's my theory, and you can correct me, and please do. And people that are going to call in, you correct us. I think the lie makes them feel better, and I think they feel better in the face of logic. And we've been joking about this for a couple of years. You're going to believe your lying eyes, or you're going to believe what I'm telling you. And I'm amazed. And what they're really having a hard time refuting, Pastor Nick, I think, is the fact that just about with the exception of 2 or 3 people, at the hearings, everyone that I saw testifying was someone who voted for Trump. And most of them indicated by attitude or by word that they would vote for him again.
Mm-hmm.
So these are not, people that are, and I see they saying that to try to maintain some type of equilibrium with the people that they used to be on the same doctrinal plane with. But the reality is that, you've got his own folk saying what happened.
Yep.
But you still got folk, that truth is not making them feel good. Right. The lie makes them feel good.
Absolutely. Yep. And some of them, I know, like couple of the Republicans that were big supporters of Trump when he was in office. And then after the whole election thing, well, no, he was wrong. He wasn't right. And now they're kind of made a little switch.
Yeah.
Now they're walking through airports and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Trump supporters are getting on them.
Are they?
And people are like, wait a minute. You didn't see this coming. You supported him this whole time. Then when it came down to him trying to rig the election, now all of a sudden you turned against him.
Well, I think.
And then
the one guy said he had a limit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. But I can't go with you on this because none of the stuff was actually indictable. The other things that they did. Yeah. And what do you think about the fact that when his family's going to have to make a choice, because if they don't have video and audio to back up what they're asking people, they're not asking the question.
Yeah.
So there's no speculation.
Right.
And 9 out of 10 people testifying are Republican.
Yeah.
So and they had a chance to put their own people on there, and Kevin McCarthy made a major blunder. And I think with this abortion overturn, this Roe versus Wade overturn, they wanted to get guns off the table. But Doc, they got something on the table now I don't think it's going to go away, and I think it's going to show up in the ballot box.
It is. This is the thing two things that confuses me.
Okay.
They could talk all this trash about right to life, right to live.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
You pass something to say, look, let's overturn Roe versus Wade, and then you make it easier for people to buy guns, which is going to result in more death.
Is that because you said it?
Yeah.
They're pro-fetus, not pro-life.
They're not pro-life, yeah. Because that makes no sense at all.
Because they don't care what happens to you after you're born.
Yep. And even the police are coming out saying, you guys have made our job that much more difficult.
It's dumb.
By allowing more people to hold.
It's just dumb.
It is.
So in New York now, you can carry and conceal.
Yes.
So you don't know who's walking around with a gun.
And it's going to follow suit in Jersey. Yeah, New York, New Jersey.
You think Jersey's going to do it?
Well, what they're going to do is if Jersey doesn't change their laws, like New York, Supreme Court is going to say you guys are in violation of the interpretation of it. So now the states are going to have to start adjusting some.
And then I learned that the way they get these balls rolling is to assign someone to complain. Yeah. So a baker will refuse to make a cake, or someone will come in and say, I'm offended by these people being same-sex and kissing in public, or just some small complaint. They're going to assign someone to complain in some court, and that's going to give them, and that's how this whole Roe versus Wade overturn.
Yeah, I'll give
it's
it.
It's a 50-year plan. It's a 40 or 50-year plan that they're working here.
I will give it to them.
Yeah.
Conservatives, unlike liberals, conservatives are patient. They'll stay focused on their goal.
That's something other than patient. 40 years of waiting.
Right. They will stay focused on their goal.
Yeah.
And no matter, again, with Trump.
Yeah.
Their whole thing was, as long as we get what we want.
Yeah.
We'll deal with what we got to deal with.
That was amazing to me. When the guys were testifying, just say what I want you to say, and let me and the congressman handle the rest. So he knew he had people that were going to support him in the lie.
Yep.
And that's McConnell and all that.
Yeah. To get what they want. Now I was talking to somebody the other day. Like the problem is they're not fully calculating the full cost of their decisions.
I think
Or they just don't care.
the gun thing is major. But I think they have poked the bear.
Yes.
And that bear is women's voting. Now, of course, you and I, Tom is on the line from Florida. Let me give the numbers again: 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. We want to talk to you this morning. People can mishear what we're saying. We are absolutely pro-life. Absolutely, from belly to tomb, from the womb to the tomb, pro-life. But I think where people get a little shaky with us is I don't think I have a right to tell you what to believe. I can witness to you, but I can't make you believe what I believe.
Yeah. And I think I read something this morning. This person said it's so true. He went through the kind of a brief history of how Christianity and government get together in bed and how it works out. And my issue is not them necessarily overturning Roe versus Wade. It's how they're doing it, how they're getting it done. You're getting it from Constantine to Babylon to all these places. You're getting in bed with government. It never turns out good on the Christian side.
We get sidelined at the end of the day. We get sidelined. We're not in the game. We get sidelined. We all of a sudden, the game's being played and we're sitting on the bench watching it happen.
Yes. Yeah, and they're going to try to swallow us up. And then the other part is this blanket thing.
You think they're ready for the repercussions as it relates to, okay, since you don't agree with this, and why, how can I say this without being totally offensive? I didn't hear God in this anywhere.
It's not about, that's the thing, it's not about God, it's how they're doing it.
There's God's not in this. But it's satisfying the politically right church. But I'm wondering if they're ready for the assault by people who are not Christians when they begin to try to tell us what we ought to do with our belief and what our church is. And believe me, it's going to happen. You're not going to mess with folk and then be upset because they say, well, you told us what to do. We're going to tell you what to do.
Things change, but we don't see past our generation or our lifetime.
It's ridiculous.
And here's my other thing. I'm sorry, what if one of their kids, grandkids, teenager, gets raped, gets pregnant from the rape? I guarantee
they're not going to make them have a kid.
Thank you.
They're going to change the name of the procedure. It'll be a DNC. It won't be an abortion. Okay.
I'm like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, and
like, don't.
How do you have girls and look your child in the face, say, I know the guy raped you, unfortunately got pregnant, but I'm going to tell you what to do about this. Because once again, we have people making decisions that are kind of test tube decisions because they're making decisions like it never will affect them. But a lot of times these people that are doing this have alternatives.
They do, yeah. Well, one of the guys that was all for this and pushing against Roe versus Wade, it just came out. He had his mistress get an abortion like a year's change ago. Like, politician.
It's that's why I say I don't think there's any God driving the decision. I think it's all political, but it's also convenience. Now, I don't tend to be a conspiracy person. But I don't think it was coincidence that 9 out of 10 Planned Parenthood clinics are in urban areas. And we know from history that the whole purpose behind the Planned Parenthood was to decrease the number of blacks being born, to decrease, quote unquote, the crime rate. Well, that didn't work. So now, since black women are 3 out of 5 women who die in childbirth, let's do it this way. Let's see if we can't stop the people getting pregnant and maybe die. And now maybe that'll impact the population we're trying to limit.
No, I agree with you.
It just seems
Yep.
The pattern is so recognizable that I cannot ignore the fact that the things people walking around think, well, this just happened. No, that Planned Parenthood was about decreasing the number of African American men, so there would be a decrease in crime. That's what it was all about.
And that's another thing. This is not going to affect certain groups of people.
It's not going to touch them.
It's going to touch the poor, brown folk, and all that stuff like that. And then my other thing is this. Y'all talk so much trash about life and babies. Do more to help mothers that are pregnant.
They're not going to do that.
Help their situation
They're not going to do that.
Don't think that they're getting abortion just because they don't want to have a baby.
The mortality rate's going to go up.
Yep.
Children and women. We're going to find ourselves in a situation, Pastor Nick. How do I get to be the majority again?
Yep.
That's behind all this. How do I get to be the majority again?
Yep. And that's... Go ahead.
We better get on this one. Let's go to Tom, and then we're going to Bunny. Hey, Tom, how you doing this morning? Welcome to On Point.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
All right, man. Good to see you.
One thing, you guys are talking, the hearings this past week. I know a lot of these guys voted for Trump. They're Trump supporters.
Yep.
But I have to say, I believe some of those guys are good guys because they actually said, we voted for him, but we didn't go along with it. And the guy from Arizona, the Secretary of State or whatever, he did bring God into it. He said he couldn't do it because he took an oath. And
I think he said that he couldn't do it because he believed that the Constitution was divinely inspired. And I thought that was a little bit of a stretch.
A little.
He said that God gave him the Constitution, I guess because of the words that's on the paper. But otherwise, we digress. Keep going, Tom.
Oh, no. But my point being, these are some people that stood up to a very evil man. And there's a whole lot, I think, going to come out about some congressmen that are hiding some really bad stuff.
That's why they're scrambling.
Oh, yeah. I think they're running away like roaches right now.
Yeah, they're
and
scrambling.
Like you said, the one guy who was they were trying to interview, and he was on the fake phone that wasn't turned on. I couldn't stop laughing.
I think there ought to be like some kind of minimal IQ test before you can serve as a congressman or a senator.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some of these guys, man, I don't get it.
Yeah. Or even the basis of serve locally and in your state first.
Yes.
Before you get a national position.
Start to impact national policy.
Like, come on.
What about think about the lady from Georgia? I can't think of her name now.
Marjorie Green.
Crazy blonde.
Yeah. Miss Green.
Yeah. Come on. How did she make it?
Yeah.
Because we're personality driven politics now, not just because you got a controversial personality doesn't necessarily make you a candidate. Just because you have capability doesn't make you a candidate.
Yep.
That's part of the problem. I saw something on PBS this week, and it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It said that if you look at some of the New England states, where there's going to run primaries next year, that if you take Trump against Biden, Trump still loses.
Yeah.
But if you take my man down here in Florida, Governor DeSantis, he wins. And the reason, and I heard this from a couple different commentators, is because he's pugnacious. And that's what seems to be running the Republican Party now.
But you don't think they'll have enough pugnaciousness going around?
That was their key word, and they think that runs the party.
Well, you know why that's working. One of the many peeves I have with the Democratic Party. I wish instead of using the verbiage of outrage, they would take action when they can.
Yeah.
But telling people you ought to be ashamed, like Schumer does. If I saw this cartoon with my kids yesterday, and it was something about this vampire family. And this monster grabbed this kid. And the kid said, "Why are you doing this?" The monster said, "'Cause it's wrong. Why doesn't anybody get that?" I must have laughed for 15 minutes. He says, "I'm doing it 'cause it's wrong."
Yeah.
Like that Gates guy. How do you get a pardon? His pardon was everything in history going back into antiquity.
Yep.
Because he wanted a pardon that was going to wipe out all this abuse stuff he's doing.
And that once you get into office, it's almost like you're Teflon. You almost, not totally.
Depending on who you are.
If they don't like you, they'll get you.
Yeah, who determines what?
Yeah. But if you're in,
Yeah.
you're in.
Yeah.
And these guys who wanted pardons for everything. So whatever I did in life is going to disappear.
I think pugnacious is working because Democrats tend to bring a water gun to a gunfight.
They got out on Congress yesterday after the decision and saying "God bless America." Talking about the Democrats.
See, that's what I mean. That's
little things like that, like
I understand Pelosi had to take a position, but it's like, okay, let them scream. They're not going to really do anything.
Now Maxine Waters, on the other hand, did you see her?
We need her voice.
Yeah.
She was going off, man.
I wish the leaders of the party would stop reacting like punks. Like they're afraid to say something, like they're afraid what's going to happen 5 years from now. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to indict these suckers. Just indict them.
Yeah. And Bishop, one other thing I'm going to leave you with. Here in Florida, it's pretty easy to get a concealed and carry.
Yeah.
The problem with that is in other states it's a little harder, but once you get the concealed and carry here in Florida, they are rescinding laws that if you have it here, if I took my gun and went over to Texas or out west where it's a little harder to get it, I still am recognized as a carried person.
Really?
So I'm wondering if New York is going, because the whole point is you put an application in Florida and you can, because you don't have to live, you only have to be in Florida on vacation to get a license.
Really?
So I don't know how that's going to.
Well, I know
it's like 30 states that recognize Florida's license.
Well, I know up in here, like we had a young lady that was in PA.
Okay.
She brought her gun to Jersey.
Okay.
And got caught with the gun over here.
Okay.
And she was.
Can't do that.
You can't do that in Jersey.
Right.
But with this new rule, they might be able to do it.
Here's my problem. It goes back to what you said at the beginning, Pastor Nick. We've already got a gun violence problem. And you've just literally put more guns on the street. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like the Wild West out here.
Yep.
And here's part of the problem. You're going to, people that are not armed, good people, are going to arm themselves.
Yep.
Now here's the problem. If you have no training, have no combat training, you're probably almost as dangerous as someone who's a criminal.
Yes.
So I mean, I know guys that have been in gunfights, and they say it's a whole lot different being at the range than it was another human being shooting back at you.
Right. Your accuracy.
Your aim is gone. Yeah, you ain't thinking, or they say it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. The fear and the adrenaline, yeah.
All that, man. Tom, we got to go, man.
Hey, you guys have a great day.
You too. Talk to you now.
God bless you.
Who's on line 3?
Bunny.
Hey, Bunny, how you doing? Welcome to OnPointe.
Hello.
Hi, Bishop. Hi, Pastor Nick.
Hi.
How are you doing?
We're doing great. Good to hear from you.
Thank you. It was wonderful. I'm talking about wonderful being there. I just wanted to say that something happened. I had never, I had to charge my oxygen while I was there. And something wonderful happened. I had never been in a situation that had been that hot, even though I had my mask and everything, where I was able to halfway breathe comfortably while the oxygen charged. And I said maybe it was just the atmosphere.
I know it was the atmosphere.
Jerseys,
I know. You were at the church, girl. You were at the church.
Yeah.
Good things supposed to happen.
Right.
Yes. But you had mentioned something that I've been thinking about the Republicans being comfortable with a lie, and I immediately thought about the scripture in Romans where they talk about people who change the truth of God into a lie, and where they're just not only the truth of God, but just the obvious bare truth of anything into a lie, scripturally.
Yeah.
And how God would turn them over to a reprobate mind. And so I'm wondering whether or not there's something called political reprobation.
Well, I think it's reprobate illustrated. And I'm sure most of our listeners are aware of this. The illustration, if you can think of you out grilling meat, and what you do normally to grill meat, you sear one side and sear the other, so that none of the juices inside can escape. A reprobate mind is a mind that's been sealed shut.
Yes.
You know, so nothing gets in, nothing gets out.
Yes.
So, and that's what we see now. There's people are putting all their faith in platform doctrine.
Yes.
Instead, and changing the truth of God to fit that platform doctrine. You know, I know people. There's a lot of people, Republicans, that think that the Constitution is some extension of the Bible, but it's not. You know, it was a joint effort by some men that did some great work, but it's not the Bible, and it's not an extension of the Bible.
That's right.
I just give us you have great opinions about things, Bunny. Tell us what you thought about the Roe versus Wade overturn and the repercussions.
I too am pro-life, but as not to repeat what you all pointed out, your views, the way you put it is the way I saw it.
Yeah.
As not to, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I remember when I was in banking, I was in a very tense conversation with a group of my coworkers, and it was around the subject of abortion, and it was around the subject that day was, when does life begin? And they finally got around to asking me what I was thinking, because I was trying to hear what everybody said and hear the logic behind their points of view. And when they finally asked me, what do you think, Dave? I said, well, let me ask you a question. If you didn't have an abortion, what would you have? And the whole room stopped. You know, so this whole when does it begin? It begins at conception. Because if you did, at any point after that, if you didn't have an abortion, what would you have? You know, and that's simplistic, but it's very real. And it's something that people try to get around, you know, but the process begins the moment the egg and the sperm come together. That's when the person starts.
My father, I was a little girl, and I remember him saying very clear, this is long before doctorate, president, he would always say, Bunny, when sperm and that egg meet, it is life. Don't ever forget that. And I was older when I got, of course, you, Bishop, you remember when the abortion, the Roe versus Wade trials were in place. And around that same time, you had a lot of different things coming together, like, what's that lady's name? Was it Helen somebody, Gurney?
Oh, yeah. I remember who you mean.
The single, what is it, the single lady? Something about the single lady. Her thing was, if men can just go around, sleep around, why can't women do it too? And it just caused a whole lot of sluttiness in the world. At the same time, there were black women, bukus, the majority of black women who would, let's say, get pregnant out of wedlock, who would be saying things like, I ain't going to kill my baby.
Right.
I ain't going to kill my baby. And now many of us have tasted the Kool-Aid, you know, and are buying into that. And it was actually, was it Pastor Nick who first said, that I've heard first say that, oh God, about the womb to the tomb, what is it about the fetus? He said,
they're pro-fetus, not pro-life. People are pro-fetus, not pro-life.
That's it. That's correct. And I'd never heard it like that. And I said, that's exactly it. Because now this is something, I could be wrong, Bishop, but I firmly believe this. I firmly believe that one of the reasons they are not wanting, particularly blacks, to have abortions is so that they can have somebody to shoot once they're born. Now, I firmly believe that.
Well, I think that since the female mortality rate is dominated by women of color in birth, this is another, I think, direct assault on trying to reclaim the majority. Because if it didn't work trying to kill the men with the Planned Parenthood, now let's see if we can't get where the women are. But it makes no. I think that we as Christians are extremely sensitive to people telling us what we should believe and how we should behave. If you're not Christian, we don't want you telling us what to do with ourselves. We'll accept it from Christians, some of us, but if you're not a Christian, you have no right to tell us who we should be, what we should do, how we should live. You have no right. But somewhere along the line, we got to the point where we politicized the church to such a place, in many places, not the whole church, but in many places, where we feel like we can legislate other people's lives, and that, to me, is wrong. I'm pro-life all day long, but I will fight for you to have your right to make your own decision. And many people can't get with that. It's like there's no consequence. We try not to say things as if we have no sensitivity to who our discussions will impact. Yeah, so, God is still good, but there's no, I've been waiting to hear one of the justices in their writings. I've been waiting to hear somebody bring up, we did this because of the Lord.
Yeah, because they're not. They're not. Okay. And my thing is like this too. Why is it always against the woman? If you want to go this whole contraceptive thing and do all this stuff, cut Viagra out then.
Yep.
Cut Cialis
out.
Cut out stuff to help them.
Men making a decision, not going to do that.
Cut them out.
Make prostitution illegal.
There you go. Cut it all out. Like the darn Handmaid's Tales up in here. Like.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Bunny.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. I see line 1 flashing. We're going to line 4. I believe that's Keisha from Elizabeth. Hey, Keisha, how you doing?
Hello.
I'm good, and you? How you doing?
All right, good to hear from you. How's things up in Elizabeth?
Yes. I just wanted to say I was watching a Bible study. I believe it was on Wednesday. And I'm telling you and Pastor Nick, y'all always encourage me. Good. And I just thinking about this song, I Can't Let a Day Go By.
Yeah.
I had put in the comments, I think Wednesday, I can't let a day go by without watching Bethany Baptist Church.
Thank you, Keisha.
I tell you, that song
Thank
was,
you.
And I really, really, really need your prayers. I really need your prayers.
Okay.
I just found out Thursday, this church I used to attend, and I was on the usher board, and I just heard that one of the ushers that was like a mom to me, she passed away last week.
Okay.
I was like, my heart just dropped. I didn't want to say nothing to nobody. I just couldn't believe it. So one of the church members called me and told me, I said, is that true? She said, yeah, that's true. But, just keep the grand family in your prayers because the funeral is the wait is Wednesday, followed by the funeral at 12 o'clock.
Okay, we'll pray for him.
And one more thing, and I'm gonna hang up.
Okay.
I went to the eye doctor, right? And normally they tell you if your insurance is not covered to get your, my eyeglasses and stuff, you got to pay for it out of your pocket.
Right.
So I went and I picked them up, and the lady's like, Keisha, what are you doing? She's like, there's no payment on your glasses. I was like, ooh, thank you, Jesus. I was like, ooh. I came out the eye doctor's office praising God, and everybody looking at me like I was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, thank you, Lord. With no payment at all.
That's a wonderful thing. God is good, isn't he?
Yes, God is so good. I'm telling you, everything that was taken from me before is replacing back. All of it.
He says he promised he'll do it.
Yes.
All right,
but
Keisha.
You and Pastor Nick, I'm telling you, y'all did my heart so good on Wednesday. I mean, I was fed.
Make sure you tell people.
Yes.
You can have a watch party. Everybody have a watch party together. Since you're in Elizabeth, get some of your friends together and y'all have a watch party. Or you can just do it online. Let's watch Bible study together and then talk about it afterwards. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, girl.
All right.
Talk to you now.
Okay.
Bye-bye. That was Keisha from Elizabeth. We're going to Danny from Florida. Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Hey. Bishop, good morning. Pastor Nick, staff, how y'all doing?
Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah. I was listening and I was thinking, and something that I respect very much is your knowledge and a bit of expertise as far as finance and things like that is going. Because as things happen, I find that in the media, they have a way of distracting us on things that are really, really important.
Yeah.
Even though I know that the economy is important, but they make that as to number one, and nothing else should matter. So while we distracted as far as the economy, I find that really I'm looking around and seeing if it's really as serious as what they're saying. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from it, but as I look at the public as to what they're doing, and you can remember, and I was thinking that when we used to buy gas, we used to buy it according to brand.
Wow.
If you wanted a particular brand because that's supposed to clean your engine and things like that.
Sure.
But now, when you look around, you can't tell what brand you're getting. All you're doing is looking at the octane rating. Now, saying that, I see friends, and I look at people that are going up and down the street. I see a lot of recreational vehicles. I see young people that are doing donuts in the middle of the street.
What?
To me, that's a waste of gas.
Well, it's also dangerous.
Yeah, I go to
that's
the beach.
That's civil disobedience or something, isn't it?
Yes, but to them it's fun.
He said to them it's fun.
People die doing that stuff.
Yeah, but it's like,
and then I see
why are they doing that? It's wrong.
Right,
How come nobody gets that?
Right. Exactly.
I see at a stoplight, no one is taking their time to go off it. They're rushing and speeding and what have you. And on the weekend, I'm going here or there, and nobody's cutting back and what have you. As far as the food is concerned, people say, yeah, it's high, but then you go in and people are not cutting back as far as food and what have you. Now, if all of this is happening and we're being distracted by things that are happening that's going on, let's look at what's happening because of the fact that there's no challenges as far as things like voting and what have you. You say, well, a lot of people, well, I'm not going to vote, I'm not going to do this. But look at the results of not voting.
Absolutely.
We have appointments that are being made because of the fact that somebody did not vote.
I've been amazed all week at the decisions that most people don't know about. I'm amazed, Danny, at how the Roe versus Wade thing, of course, had center stage this week. But they passed some other stuff behind the door. You know, that most walking people won't know about, most working people won't know about, walking around people won't know about until it confronts them.
Yes.
But they, yes, Roe versus Wade is getting the headlines. But they also made some other decisions that are going to affect certain people in the country.
Yep. They're trying to get back to what is this whole crap about? Let's get back to a certain era that never it was all fantasy, never really existed in the first place.
Existed. It's an idea.
Yeah, we need to go back to where it was.
It's an idea. Well, how was it?
Right. Wasn't that good for everybody?
You know, when you say back in the day, that's interpretive.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and
exactly.
It's very interpretive. How's my sister doing, Dan?
Blessed tremendously.
I figured you'd say that.
Yeah.
and the other thing that I want us to be aware of is that with these gun laws that they're you could go ahead and carry it and do whatever you want to. We got to watch now. A lot of these people that are buying these weapons will say they're not getting training, but they're having these militia groups and these underground groups that are doing all kind of training here. So it's all by design. So let's not be fooled.
Yeah, I think that the normal, everyday walking around people are going to start, now that they're saying everybody's going to have a gun. So what do? You go to Walmart and
guns out.
Guns are, everybody's walking around with one, or it's supposed to be concealed, but you can have it.
Yeah, or in certain states you don't have to conceal it.
Okay. So Danny, we gotta let you go, man.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you later now. Bye bye.
Right.
See you there.
So we had the Roe versus Wade decision. Then you write that SCOTUS also made it easier for people to carry a gun outside the home. SCOTUS also decided that citizens cannot sue a police officer for not reading their Miranda rights stated by the federal civil rights law. That they also they'll allow GOP lawmakers to intervene to defend North Carolina's voter ID law.
Yeah, here's the crazy part, right? So North Carolina you have to have a driver's license to vote.
Right.
The Democrat AG, Attorney General, is already requiring that, implemented that already.
Right.
But they're saying it's not to their satisfaction. So they want to be able to jump in and, I guess, basically put their other restrictions in place, even though it's already there already.
So, and all this really hidden in the shadow of the Roe versus Wade decision. And then Clarence Thomas comes out. I think he's running for something. I think he's positioning somebody for something, either himself or his wife. Yeah. The court should consider overturning contraceptive rights, which is, I thought the Republican Party was all about you staying out of their business.
Yeah, right. Stay out of the bedrooms.
Yeah, stay out. Yeah.
Yeah, personal liberty, freedom.
What happened to that one?
I don't know what this country's thing is about when it comes to sexual things. It's like they get the freakiest country, but
in the world,
but have the tightest about it though.
Well, you got we doing it, but we got to act like we're not.
Yeah, like
got 9 kids running around the house, but
thank you.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, and like married folk don't use contraceptives.
Come on, man.
But you notice he ain't put.
So what they're trying to do now? So if I'm gonna make you get pregnant, then what's the need of having contraception? You need to snatch that out. Yeah. Pharmaceutical company ain't going for that.
Oh no, because all that stuff and I mean, come on.
Let's talk to Robin, man. But you're gonna start cussing on the radio. It's a family show. Good morning, Robin. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick. Y'all talking about freaky country?
It is.
I mean, just saying.
It is. I mean, you look at we have legal prostitution.
Yeah. And the people in the they did a study on this. When the conservative Christians get together, the porn rates in the hotels go up.
Wow.
I know you're telling the truth. I know you're telling the truth because I travel. When travel was safe, I travel.
Yeah.
And if there's a convention in town, not only does the porn rate go up in the room, but the escort rate goes up.
Yep. For the crowd that's so.
Yes, sir. So tight.
Tight. Yes.
Yes, sir. So tight.
Come on.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, Robin. How you doing?
Nick.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm hanging in, taking one day at a time, but I need you and Pastor Nick's help once I make this comment, and then I'm going to hang up. But first I want to say to Pastor Nick, when y'all do outside communion, if you ever notice how Pastor Nick he gets so excited before it starts. You can just see his eyes light up, his hands moving. I love it because it's letting me know he just can't wait to get into the message. And then you, Bishop, you be getting loud. Yes, yes. But it's just something different about outside communion.
We were just happy to see live people, girl.
Thank you. That's really it. Thank you. Right.
We just
it ain't that deep.
It ain't deep. It's just overjoyed to see some folks.
Yeah, but the communion outside is just always amazing. You know, to me, it's like you're just close to God. But regarding the Roe versus Wade turnover, I don't get it. I listened to Marvin Gaye's song, came on the radio, what's going on? Because it's not going to stop women from having abortion. There's an organization, I can't remember where I read it. It came to my phone. That's going to start. You know how they have the mobile, where they do mammograms and physicals. They said they're going to start that, and they're going to be on the border. So I guess they won't actually go into the state. So if any women need to get abortion, but for Clarence Thomas wants to, you know, change contraceptives. If they don't want women to get abortion, give them free birth control, and that'll stop women from getting pregnant when they don't want to get pregnant.
Which actually has been shown.
Right.
When Obama put all that stuff in place,
didn't make it go down.
Birth rates went down.
Yeah.
Abortions went down. That's the thing they're not talking about.
Yeah, they're not talking.
They went down more under Obama than most presidents.
Yeah, they won't talk about it.
It's the power. It's the hunger for power. But, you know, somebody made a comment on Facebook. There's more behind this. It's a lot more behind this.
Well, I said it earlier. It's we go all the way back to Planned Parenthood. It was about restoring a balance. Put the abortion clinics in minority neighborhoods. That'll make the birth rates go down eventually over a period of time. And it goes back to that patience thing you have, Pastor Nick. You know, they're looking towards the future. Not unlike sometimes some of my criticism of Democratic assertions is that they're assertions that make some sense in the moment, but not sense next month. You know, it's just like the whole, that police defund. That's the dumbest thing I heard. And all politically, that was one of the dumbest things I heard all year.
This country is
it makes no sense at all.
Right. But Bishop and Pastor Nick, I need some guidance. My son's girlfriend, my grandchildren's mother, was killed in a car accident a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, my.
And he's got to raise Julian, which is a nice name, isn't it, Pastor Nick?
Yes, it is.
And Kira by himself. I try to go up there at least once a week. I call him every day because he lives in Hatfield, PA, so it's about an hour and 20 minutes from me. But he's really hurting. My grandson's like, well, Mommy is up in heaven with Pop watching over us, but Kira's 4, so she doesn't understand why Mommy's not coming home. How can I help her? I am sending them scriptures. I'm sending all the messages that you put out, like communion and church messages, but is there anything else I can help them as a mother? I know I can't be there every day, so what can I do?
When you talk to him, Robin, don't allow your whole conversation. You got to talk to him like a mom would talk to a son.
Right. Okay.
I totally agree with sharing scripture and those types of things, sharing the messages with him.
Okay.
But he needs to talk to his mother.
Right.
You know, Christians tend to approach everything in life like professional Christians and leave the humanity out. Specifically, we approach death, especially us preachers. This may cause a little controversy, but I think it's very, very challenging for a preacher to preach the funeral of his mother or father, or grandfather, grandmother, and not allow themselves to mourn like sons rather than try to mourn like a professional. Now, I get it why people do it, but I also think God gave us grief, and people work out grief in different ways. But sometimes we need to be sons and daughters and mothers and fathers. And I think and it's not a this or that. You can be the spiritual woman, but also don't forget you're his mother. He needs to hear from his mom as well as from the Christian mom that he has. And for him, that's going to be two different things.
Right. Yeah, because usually when I see him in person, you know, I try to joke with them, talk about other things. It just went out, text them the messages when, after service. I just wanted to know if there's anything, else I can do, to help him.
If you really want to help him at this point, and you really want to share some word with him, I would get him My Heart Will Beat Again.
Okay. All right. I'll order that and send that to him.
But the presence is just as powerful as words in these situations. It's not like you got to say a whole lot. You just got to be there.
Right. Yeah, I go to the store and pick up things for him when I'm on my way there.
Yeah, you just got to be there. The presence says a whole lot. Because a lot of times we say things that when I'm grieving, they don't make any sense. As a matter of fact, they can become quite offensive. Don't nobody want to hear they're in a better place right after something like that has happened?
No, I never.
Don't nobody want to hear that.
Yeah, the silver lining that he said, Mom, I'm just so thankful to God that the kids weren't in the car with
Absolutely.
her. The car flipped over. She was thrown from the car.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to get, your insight.
Yeah.
Because y'all have so much wisdom.
Well, we try hard.
And it helped me. So,
all right, we'll be praying for him, too.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, now.
It still hurts. It hurts me to see the kids like that.
Absolutely.
Mom.
Wow, time went fast. See you later, Rob.
All right, y'all
Bye-bye.
have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Man, time went fast. We got 4 minutes.
I know.
Phew.
You know what's interesting about the Clarence Thomas thing?
What?
So you're it says to go after gay rights.
Yeah.
Let's go after contraceptive rights.
Yeah.
He ain't going after interracial relationships. Now, before,
Of course not.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Now, people are like, hold up, bro.
Not, but he's crazy enough to go after equal opportunity, though.
Yeah.
After he got his job.
After he got a benefit from
it.
it. Yeah. That man is just
as stupid as he looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the biggest hypocrites. What's her name? Anita.
Yeah. I almost said Baker. No. Brian. Brian.
She was right.
Yeah.
About him.
Yeah.
And history is proven.
But he's in what I don't like about the Supreme Court job is that you can be stupid and keep the job for the rest of your life.
Yep. They should have term limits like everybody else. And they shouldn't allow it to be, this is for both sides.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be 6'3" liberal or 6'3" Republican. I can get a 5'4", where it's never tipped totally on one person's side.
But this court is obviously politically driven.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. They knew what they were doing when they denied Obama's last appointee. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I just thought it was awful convenient that lady judge died at the time that she died. That our government is not above those things.
And the other dude that died in his ranch.
Yeah, at his ranch, yeah.
And then the guy leaves after Trump gets in office because find out his son was connected with Trump in banking or something like that. All of a sudden he wants to retire.
Yep.
Come on, y'all.
Deal, disparage, destroy. The 3 Ds of politics. Deal, disparage, or destroy.
Yep.
3 Ds. Look, tomorrow is Sunday. We want you to join us tomorrow. 8 a.m. for our virtual service, of course. 11 a.m. for our outdoor worship service. You don't want to miss it. It is Men's Day tomorrow at Bethany Church. We celebrate the men. We come together. The ladies come to support us. Got an incredible message for you tomorrow. I want you to spend the day with us. Our Men's Day assessment is $100 as usual. We have a grown